We collect data as art, and we are particularly interested in the point of exchange, where people fill in forms, how data is collected and how people interact with that. And we're also very interested in the ethics surrounding data collection, surrounding the ownership of data, can it be exchanged, who owns it, and how freely we give away information.
This is very much what we're handing out here is like a result of human action, human exchange. We're very interested in people's relationships with data that's being collected. Generally looking at people's kind of moment of exchange, moment of performativity, moment and kind of the attention. I often think about this moment when you're handing over this data and making that the kind of the artwork is then this is the kind of like potential energy whereby like you're left in this tension of how is this going to be used.
So the next, I've got so we can look at the order. Yeah, like prefix.
Imagine that, going back to the idea of
We've just been looking at all this sort of stuff, you know, just saving copies of...
Yeah, so you're doing that, and then we're going to discuss it as a group, and then you, Jeff and Elliot, you'll do that together.
You know, the point of the exchange, we're really interested in like form filling, for instance, and the kind of things that you think about when you're filling out a form, and how people interact with forms, and how they make forms make people feel.
Satirical but poignant play on terms and conditions and data sharing, and the way we all sign into these sort of agreements without really understanding them. So we're going to do a sort of interactive presentation at Parliament on Monday. And that tear will actually be encoded with a bit of Morse code, so that you won't realise you're agreeing to something in the action, but it should be legally binding.
A Morse code in itself is a term and condition in a way. Yeah. Tomorrow will be like content day, like just building it, you know. That's kind of nice. But maybe it's good to do the mock-up now, more or less.
Yeah. So we started thinking, what can we kind of come up with? We thought it would be quite nice to present something at the European Parliament. We came up with this idea of what we're calling a white paper that we can present, and I think we're the kind of data ethics committee, if you want a group name. So we want to present a document to the Parliament which somehow encapsulates some of our ideas and thoughts about data. So we thought of making a closed document with perforations, like the sort of document you get with your PIN number from the bank when you've got a new PIN number, it's sealed at the sides.
This was amazingly put together by Julian in about half an hour, and he's just worked tirelessly to kind of make this for us, and we really have no idea, so a really big thanks to him for being pretty amazing at doing that, and it works.
Excellent.
It's a 12 jump of the button and see if it doesn't break the rules too much.
Is the bit about the tearing being agreed terms and conditions in there?
That's right there.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Comma.
AC. Sorry. He's rejected it if you
Experience with wider cultural shifts driven by the exchange of data.
Can I just point out that if the explicit intention of the data and if its working group is something, that's a very long sentence. It's a really long list of explicit intentions.
You can take it from the, after data, you can just full stop and then go rather.
Yeah, I don't know about that actually.
So we're interested in exploring data systems and networks, exploring the navigations required to access and give data, and the implications of ownership, storage, and the exchange of data. We decided to create a document, a manifesto, if you will, and we're going to circulate the document around the room. If you open it to the first page, there is a form, a data form on the first page, which we'd all like you all to fill out. So if everyone can begin to fill out the form. you will notice that by opening the document you are accepting our terms and conditions. And so when you're ready, if you have completed your form, if you want to tear down the perforated line and open up your document.
Please invite you all to turn to page 1 of the terms and conditions of the document. Terms and conditions is a collective experiment number 1. A prototype and tentative reflection on the ontology and current context of data collection and application. It is research made public following reflection on collecting data as art and applying data within arts practice. At the point that information is then turned into data and stored as archive, a new form of potential energy is created, an energy containing power and risk. As collection, storage and application of data have become increasingly sophisticated and part of a professionalised industry, this potential energy has become more significant and less understood. Our implicit intention is to create a discourse that links personal experience with wider cultural shift driven by the exchange of data. The acceptance of the terms and conditions by opening this document represents a contract entered into by the individual in order to participate within an information economy. Your completion of the form becomes a performative act. It is an enactment of the continual request to be complicit with oblique agreements regarding intellectual property, privacy, and the sale of sandwiches. In the very end, does the form define your identity? Do we have the right picture? Is the picture something to see you with? Surely there are limits to the value of data. Thank you.
By the way, we are keeping the forms. So we are going to start collectively.